Have you ever felt the frustration of trying something new with your marketing, but then it doesn't work, or it doesn't work as well as you would have liked? Or maybe you know exactly what it is that you need to be doing with your marketing and your sales, but you just find it difficult to keep doing what you know you need to do to get results. If so, you're not alone. And in this video, I'll go through how you can solve those problems by number one, being consistent in your marketing, and understand why that is so important to the success of your marketing and sales in your business. Number two, go through what are the most important things that you need to be consistent in when it comes to your marketing and sales in your business. And then finally, once you know what it is that you need to be consistent in, how can you maintain that consistency to get predictable results every day, every week, and every single month? So let's start by answering the first question. Why is consistency in your marketing important in the first place? Well, first of all, there's no denying that different studies have found that people who are consistent in their marketing get better results versus those that don't. And that people who are successful in business rely on consistency to be successful. So if you want to get results in your business as well, then logically you need to be consistent. I mean, it makes sense. If you do something that gets results and you want to continue getting results, then you just need to keep doing that thing that gets results again and again. It's not very difficult to comprehend, but actually doing it, that's where it becomes difficult, or at least challenging to a lot of people. So to answer the question, why is it important to be consistent? It's important to be consistent so that you can get results, predictable results in your business. But this brings us on to the second question. What kind of things do you need to be consistent in? Because if you're consistent in the wrong type of activities for your business, you're not going to get very far. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is that they are consistent when it comes to the wrong type of things to focus in their business. So for example, they're consistent when it comes to maybe posting every day on social media, or going on Instagram Live, or maybe doing a Facebook Live, or maybe something else that is nice and gets some brand awareness, maybe a few likes, maybe a few followers, but does it actually bring in more business? Does it actually generate more leads? Does it generate more sales appointments? Does it actually generate more clients? So that's what you need to think about. With the current marketing activities that you're doing, even if you're already being consistent in it, are these activities actually related to things that will help you grow your business? Or are they just things that are sort of nice to have, or things that look good, like likes and followers and things like that? So when it comes to being consistent in your business, you need to be consistent in the right activities or the right things in your business. Now, another thing to think about when it comes to being consistent in your marketing and sales is that a lot of people, they hear of a new marketing strategy or a new way to generate leads. They try it for a little bit, and then because they only try it for maybe a few weeks, maybe even a few months, because they don't see a lot of traction in that short amount of time, they then see something new, maybe a new Facebook ad or a YouTube ad or something different that says, hey, try this new way of generating leads, or try this new way of getting sales, or whatever it might be. And then they quickly give up what they were already doing and they move on to something new. Then when they try that new thing again, they're consistent with it for a very short amount of time. They maybe try it for a few weeks or a few months, and then because they don't see some instant results or results straight away, they go and try something else. And then they just keep moving from one thing to another. They end up buying lots and lots of different courses, trying to teach them different ways of doing things, and they're never consistent in just one thing. And this is a big danger, because if you are not consistent in one thing that you know that if you were consistent in it, you would actually get results, it's going to be very difficult for you to get results no matter what it is that you actually do. Because if you're not consistent and you give up quickly, then it's impossible to get any results, because the best results from your marketing and sales always happen in the long term. And yes, you can get short-term results with a lot of marketing strategies, but again, the best results and the consistent, predictable results are things that happen over the long term. So whatever you do in your marketing, do not dabble. Do not try something for a little bit, dabble in it for a bit, and then move on to something else. If you're going to do something in your marketing and sales, as long as you're focusing on the right areas of your business, as long as you know this activity is going to generate leads, appointments, and clients in the long term, do not give up. Just keep doing it consistently until you get results. And obviously you can get quick wins and you can get some results along the way, but just keep it in the back of your mind that you know the best results, the results where it's consistent and predictable every single week and month in your business, those kind of results happen in the long term. And really you need to be focusing on something for at least 6 months before you start seeing any significant results, no matter what type of activity that you're actually doing. So being consistent is very important if you want to get long-term results. And most people watching this video, you have a business not for short-term growth and then it just dies, but you want to have a business with long-term growth, something that is sustainable for a very long time, if not forever, into the future. But then this brings us on to the second question, right? What do you actually need to be consistent in? Because obviously, if you're consistent in the wrong type of marketing activities, you're not going to get any results. So you have to be consistent in marketing and sales activities that are actually going to generate results for your business. So what kind of things should you focus on? Well, you need to focus on things that are actually going to directly correlate to you getting new clients. So if you think back to how you get a new client, how do you currently get a new client in your business? For most of my clients, the way that it works in their business, and also this is the same in my business, the way you get a new client is, first of all, you have an appointment with someone that's interested in becoming one of your clients. And then how do you get an appointment? Well, the way that you get an appointment is by generating a lead. So you generate a lead, then that lead converts into an appointment, and then that appointment converts into a client. And that's a very common process for a lot of businesses, a lot of service-based businesses, where what you offer isn't necessarily a product or something that they buy online in some sort of e-commerce shop or something like that. But if you're actually selling a service, which is what I sell and which is what most of the people watching these kinds of videos also sell, the way that you get clients is through leads, appointments, and clients. That's the process. That's how it works. So when it comes to a marketing strategy, you need to think, does this marketing strategy help me do one or all of those three things? Does it help me generate leads? Does it help me generate appointments? And does it help me generate clients? You need to make sure that whatever marketing strategy you do and whatever strategy you're consistent in, it's going to help you with those three things. Now, if you're not sure what kind of strategy to use right now in your business to get leads, appointments, and clients, then I recommend just watching the masterclass training that I've recorded, and I'll include a link in the description below this video. And if you sign up to that masterclass training, I'll go through the 5 steps that you can follow in order to get predictable leads, appointments, and clients every single month. So there'll be a link in the description below this video if you want to check that out. But once you have a strategy that you know has been proven to work, follow that strategy, stick to it, and be consistent with that strategy. So then finally, this brings us on to the last question. Once you know why being consistent is important, once you know what you need to be consistent in, number 3 is, how can you maintain that consistency? Because sometimes you know what it is that you need to do, but you just can't do it for some reason or another. So for example, there's a lot of people that know that they need to exercise, but they don't exercise for one reason or another. So just because you know you need to do something doesn't always make it easy to actually do what you need to do. So how can you make sure you're consistent in the marketing activities that you need to be consistent in? So to help you, I'm going to give you a few tips that you can follow. The first thing is to have a schedule. So it's very important that everything you know you need to do, you take those activities and you put it into your schedule. That way you know it's going to be done because it's inside your schedule. So every day you have a look at your schedule for the coming day or the coming week, and you need to make sure that the most important activities that you need to focus on are in that day or in that week inside of your schedule. The second thing that you can do is prioritize the most important things. Do the most important things first, and then everything else second. So if the most important things right now in your business is to actually grow it by generating leads, appointments, and clients, then you need to put in your schedule right at the beginning of your schedule, so at the beginning of the week, at the beginning of the month, and at the beginning of the day, the most important activities that you need to focus on. And that way you will make sure that it gets done. And then once those activities are done, then you can move on to the secondary stuff. And then the final thing you can do is you can set yourself a challenge. And you can either set yourself a challenge just something between you and yourself, or you can actually set yourself a challenge between you and an accountability partner. So someone that you say, hey, this is what I want to do for the next 30 days or the next 60 days or 90 days or whatever it is, and I want you to make sure I'm accountable to this. So it's up to you if you want to use an accountability partner, or if you just want to do this yourself and just be accountable to yourself. But by setting a challenge for yourself to actually do this, it will increase the chances that you actually do whatever it is that you need to do. For example, one of the ways that I make sure I'm accountable to the most important things that I need to do every day is by using an app called Streaks. And there's a lot of similar apps to this. If you go to the App Store and just type in habits or daily habits or something like that, you can see a whole list of different apps that you can use to make sure that you are being consistent with whatever habits that you need to do every single month. And obviously you can apply this to business, but it could also apply to your personal life as well, with things that you want to be consistent in. And Streaks is the app that I use. I just find it really easy and really simple to use, so I just use that. But if you go to the App Store and search for any other app that kind of does the same thing, allows you to put your goals inside of the app and say, this is what I want to achieve, and then allows you to mark it off as you've achieved it, and it reminds you to achieve that every single day, you can start to be consistent in those kind of activities. And like I mentioned, set yourself maybe a challenge, maybe a 30-day challenge or something like that, to be consistent in 1, 2, or 3 different marketing activities that you know is going to result in you getting more leads, appointments, and clients in your business. And set yourself that challenge to do that for the next 30 days. And then when you're successful with that, because you've done this so often every day, it's just going to become second nature to you. You're going to know exactly what it is that you need to do as soon as you wake up and start your day, because you've done this every other day before. And because you're doing this consistently, it becomes a habit, and then it becomes easy to do what it is that you need to do. Now, if you set yourself a challenge to do this in 30 days and you still fail to do it, then the last thing that I recommend, which is what I touched on earlier, is having an accountability partner. Or maybe you don't necessarily need to have an accountability partner. Maybe you just tell other people what it is that you're going to be doing by actually putting it out there in the open and saying, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing in the next week, in the next 30 days, or whatever time period you're going to be using. If you tell people that you're going to be doing it, then you know you have to actually do it, because you've already made yourself accountable to everyone that you've told. And then you'll look bad if you haven't actually did what you said you were going to do. So that's another really easy way for you to make sure that you do what it is that you need to do. So remember those simple points. Number 1, have a schedule. Number 2, prioritize the most important things in your schedule. Number 3, also make sure to have some sort of challenge that you give yourself, or maybe use an accountability partner, or maybe just put it out there in the open and tell other people what it is that you're doing to make sure that you get it done. So after watching this video, hopefully you know what it is that you need to be consistent in when it comes to your marketing. And like I said, if you're not sure, just check out that masterclass training that I've recorded that goes through the 5 steps to get predictable leads, appointments, and clients every single month in your business. And then be consistent in it. Stick to it, do the work, and get results.